Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Please tell me in the comments below if you can hear me loud and clear and see if we can get this show on the proverbial road. Let me do my thing while you do your thing. Okay, if you could do me a favor, wherever you're watching me from, whoever you are, please share this broadcast. This is one of the things they tell you to do when you jump on a live. If you could disseminate as ubiquitously as possible, just by Joseph Chishimba, I salute you, sir. This is a salute sign, okay? It's not a political symbol. I did that once in I remember I had a court hearing about my case. You know, the tire slashing case. Incidentally, that's coming up on the 22nd of November. Judgment for that is coming up on the 22nd of November this year. A few weeks ago, I was in court. I was at the Supreme Court, and I walked into the courtroom, and a bunch of guys were sitting in the gallery. So I did this. And one of the guys, he did this. I said, no, I'm saluting you. This is a salute sign, okay? A salute sign. But they took it as a political, politics. You know, on the street, especially during COVID, on the street, we used to fist bump because, you know, you were trying to avoid having to shake people's hands. So you fist bump. And a couple of UPND guys I met some few months ago, I did this. I wanted to fist bump them. And they said, no. I said, man, I'm just giving you a fist bump, man. No mamuzambia fionze ni politics. You know, ulefo posho muntu ni politics. No, it doesn't always have to be that way. Right, Masheke. Thank you. Somebody says thank you. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Let me just check my monitor here on my phone. I use my phone as my monitor. Okay. And so that we're on the same page. Let's just be clear here. All righty. I think we're good to go. What do you think? I think we're good. And then we can start loud and clear. Welcome back, Masheke. Capo. I foresee HH visiting Kambwili at Minor Soko, but this won't sit well with PF. Good morning, Philemon. Pentecostals say Philemon. In Zambia, we say Philemon, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with Philemon. You can say Philemon. Thank you. Kwesu, good morning, sir. I like your analysis. Well, thank you. This is my opinion on what's going on. Let's begin. As many of you know, there's been a videotape that's been circulating, especially on the internet. And you must understand that one of the things that we have to begin to practice as a people, and this is something that I think all countries grapple with, we are grappling with the basic, rudimentary reality of this issue, the very basic. In America, in other developed worlds, they're dealing with what's known as deep fake. Deep fake. Do you know what deep fake is? Deep fake means something that is so believable, that appears so realistic. The person's face is there, the person's voice is there, the person's mannerisms are there, but it's not the person. It's fake. It's computer generated. It's AI generated. Countries are dealing with deep fake. In Zambia, are we dealing with deep fake? In Zambia, it's just a simple post, an outdated post. You can take a video clip in this country and attach a narrative to that video and it will go viral. We need to become people that are media smart. Now, media smart simply means you can look at something and you ask, wait a minute. When did this videotape? When was it shot? Who shot it? Where was it? Who are the characters in the video? In Zambia, there's no such analysis. In Zambia, it's like, oh, bali bachi attack. Where? Here's the video. Oh, ever Charlie? Yeah, kwena abantu aba. And just like that, you create a false narrative. The king of propaganda, Emmanuel Mwamba, and his team are formulating a concoction of propaganda, the likes of which you have never seen. And yet, it's basic. It's just an outdated video that they have attached a false narrative because the Zambian people are so dwanzy. They believe it. Hook, line, and sinker. But when you have a group of people that are willing to create a false narrative to serve their purpose, to accomplish their selfish goal of regaining power by any means necessary, you're dealing with a powder keg. You have a powder keg in your hands. You have a lit dynamite in your hand. When you have these political vagabonds, these despots that call themselves opposition leaders in the name of the NPF, they took an old video of Hakainde Hichilema being attacked in full view of the police. This was the level at which lawlessness had digressed in this nation. This is the level of anarchy that we were beginning to experience in this nation, where PF cadres in full view of uniformed police attack a motorcade and the police do nothing. Nothing. And now you take that old video, you bring it into the present, and then you say, no, this was in Chingola, and this was ECL leaving the Kambwili funeral, and these UPND cadres were attacking ECL. The audacity, the unmitigated go of these UPND cadres. Now, let's be clear. UPND are not angels. Let's be clear. We're not saying it's not possible for UPND cadres to do that. It's very possible. Kaibantu. They're people, and they've done it in the past. But what is at hand here, the issue here is, don't create a false narrative for political expedience in this dispensation. Don't take an old video to justify your propaganda, and then you attach a lie to it. Notwithstanding, UPND cadres are not perfect. They've been involved in violence before. They've been involved in chaos before. Because they are cadres. That's the nature of cadres. That's how they are. Whether you are PF, UPND, MMD, cadres are like that. But don't create falsehood. Tell the truth. This is the reason myself and many other people have challenged the NPF, the Notorious Patriotic Front. If indeed, we are not saying it's not impossible, because they're people, it's possible. But if indeed ECL's motorcade was attacked in Chingola as the ECL was leaving the funeral, in a funeral procession, in the Kambwili funeral procession, if indeed he was attacked, show us the video. In this day and age where everything is recorded, everywhere ECL goes, it's recorded. Just like everywhere HH goes, it's recorded. So I don't think it would be outlandish, it would be a stretch for us to ask you, produce the video. Because what Given Lubinda was preaching there at the grave site, if you listen to what Given Lubinda was saying, he turned that whole funeral into a political NPF rally. He just turned it into a rally. This is the reason, if you listen to that Given Lubinda address at the gravesite, there was no applause. There was no affirmation from the public. It was dead silent. The whole time Given Lubinda was bemoaning and calling, no, this is an act of the devil. Hey, this man, ECL, served as president of this republic. No one can take that away from him. Let us respect the office of the sixth and the former president. He went on and on and on. There was not one hint of affirmation and approval from the public, because everybody was thinking, mwewa Lubinda imwe. Ichi chiriro chesu ichi. Umwana wesu, abana besu nabafwa. Mwaleta ama politics kuno. Muletwe bati we should be recognizing you are using our funeral. Mulebo mfye chiriro chesu to advance your own political gain by announcing that this attack on ECL was an attempt to delegitimize ECL. Nobody in that crowd was affirming what he was saying, because they were aggrieved. Everyone in that crowd was thinking, this is our funeral, and you've hijacked it, and you are turning it into a political rally. How dare you, Mr. Lubinda? How dare you, ECL? How dare you, Emmanuel Mwamba? How dare you, Nakachinda? How dare you, you chaps? Total, unadulterated, quintessential, unmitigated, unbridled nonsense. Nonsense. You're trying to use every single opportunity for political mileage. Alas, you have stepped on the wrong issue, because that Kambwili family are not in accordance with what you did at the gravesite. You have taken the attention and the grief, the loss, the anguish from their family, and you have now diverted that grief, and you have now focused it on ECL's purported attack by UPND cadres. You chaps, how far removed are you from reality? You chaps, how far removed are you from your own self-aggrandizement and your self-absorption? Come on, be serious. Serious. Total foolishness. So, in my view, I think that these chaps, it's about machinations for them. And once again, I repeat, if you've got the footage, which I don't see why it was not posted on Balungu's page, because everywhere Balungu goes, it's recorded. Everywhere he goes, it's recorded. So post that so that we can see it, so that those chaps who did that can be brought to book. Remember, they're on their own, these boys. These boys who involved themselves in arbitrary violence against members of the public, including the former and sixth president of this republic, if indeed they did what you are claiming they did, take them to task, arrest the boys, throw them in chooks, as our colored brothers and sisters say, in chooks, send them. Nobody has any qualms about sending violent cadres to chooks. We want them there. We need them there so that we are free of a society, so that society is free of such bottom feeders, such vagabonds, and the dredge of society. We don't need them. We don't want them. There's nothing to laugh about here. It's a very serious matter. Very serious matter indeed. So, that's what I have to say about that. Let me also make mention, what's the other thing I was going to talk about? By Emmanuel Mwamba, this is not the first time he's done this, and I think he really should tread carefully. Because if your goal, your focus, is only to regain power by any means necessary, and you pay no attention to the process and how you get to that position, then you're not patriotic. You don't love this nation. You love yourself. You love your interests. Your political party sits front and center of your agenda, not the nation. In any case, I'm amused when I hear these PF chaps bemoan violence. When they are the architects, they are the originators. They are the godfathers of violence. You remember Chile 1. We were recently in the Copper Belt, and I ordered a Yango. You know, our team, the media team, was told, you all have to be downstairs by a certain time. If you're not, you get left. I was 6 minutes late. 6 minutes late. Mwewa, this is not Simoson. Here we've got protocol. If we say 6, it means 6. Not walking through the market. If you are not here by 6, tizakusia. Honey, I got there 6:06 in the morning, for goodness sake. It was 6 minutes. So I took a Yango from the hotel to the site, to Nkana Stadium. And while I was in the Yango, I was asking the young man. Now remember, this is Nkana. I asked him, I said, do the Jerobos still have the power they used to have? He goes, oh, Jerobos, they no longer enjoy the freedom they enjoyed in the PF. Quite all right, they're still there, but they don't have that unbridled power to do anything they want to anyone in full sight of the law. Now, it is no longer exists. You remember in the time of the PF, the power that a Jerobo had was more powerful than the marshal in no, that's not the right word. Is more powerful. It was more powerful than Cuba's Castro. Those chaps, guys, they used to deal in dollars. That hotel where we were staying, there's a beautiful hotel in Kitwe. It's called what is it called? Where we stayed at this really lovely hotel. The Garden, what is it? The Garden Court Hotel. During the PF, Kadas, now, you know, a hotel, you walk in there, you're supposed to dress nicely, you know, be decent, you know, don't speak too loud. It's not a bar kuchiboria. It's not a bar kukanyama or kubanda masauko. No, it's a beautiful place that requires its patrons to be cordial and respectful. But during the PF, when the PF would walk into that hotel, mulia mulobi mulia, yo papa bar area palia, mo ativale punda mulianga vale punda. Anyone who tried to confront them, they would threaten them. Iwe finishu ishiwe, iwe ichichukura nifetua kula ifwe cheswichi, pa next door papali Edgar Chagwarungu Convention Center, nifetua tuwa kulechi finishu ngatueva iwe. That was the type of lawlessness Jerobos would take. You go there today, peaceful, respectful, cordial. What's wrong with that? Is something wrong with that? Why must being rude, threatening, violence, why must that be acceptable? And why must being cordial and respectful, why should that be shunned? Are we so far removed now as a people that we no longer want decency and respect and harmony? Turefa vye chongo. Fi makada zifyangira mu hotel. Nkasako nga bainga kubanda masauko. Nkasako nga bainga kuma Ken Simpson. Nkasako nga bainga kukanyama. Nkasako nga bainga kuntwani. No mba mu hotel. Umwa abantu abayichindika. Mwa twale chongo mu hotel. Because you are cadres. Political cadres. Nonsense. Thank God that dispensation is over. Chile 1. It amuses me when I hear these guys talk about, if you listen to our Given Nuvinda's address, no one should do violence. Chile 1. was trying to kill HH. And you are the same people who are talking about violence today. You remember when my HH Parepa rooftop, that was not child's play, mind you. That was a clear and present danger to his life. You may not appreciate it because you are not the one who went through that. You would never appreciate the effects of threatened violence unless you go through it. You and I, we go through scuffles and disagreement on the street. HH dealt with life and death every day of his opposition life. Life and death. Life and death. If I go this way, I might die. Not I might be slapped or my leg might be broken. No. If HH used to think, if I go this way, I'll die. If I go this way, I might live. These are the people now today, they are saying, no, violence must be abhorred. Violence must be shunned. Have you forgotten the hell, the heartache, the pain, the debauchery that you used to distribute when you were in power? Don't be foolish. We are not your children for you to be talking to us as if we are toddlers. As if we haven't forgotten the nonsense. Let me, lastly, let me talk about, what was the last thing? Right, the Concord. You know, you must understand that before the Concord, the Constitutional Court, our High Court, our Magistrates Court, High Court, Supreme Court, all of these courts were adequate. They were adequate to deal with any legal matter in this country. But do you know who created the Concord? Do you know who created that? Tell me in the comments who created it and why he created it. Tell me why he created it. Tell me who created it and why he created it. Tell me in the comments. Because prior to the Concord, I mean, it was fine. It was okay. I mean, whatever legal issues that we had as a nation could be dealt with through the Magistrates Court, the High Court, the Supreme Court. But who created the Concord and why did he create it? Tell me in the comments below. I'm going to read your comment. I want to read who's going to say it. I need you to tell me. I'm not going to move on until you tell me. ECL. Edgar Lungu, he created that. You know why he created it? You have any idea why he did that? Do you want to? I can tell you why, but I'm sure you guys know. He created it because he wanted to run for a third term. He created it because he wanted to legitimize his attempt to run for a third term. That's the reason he created it. Now, if you look at Edgar Lungu's history as a lawyer, this is not a secret. There's no secret about this. This is very common knowledge. You remember a Law Association of Zambia suspended Edgar Lungu for malpractice. The story was some woman, some widow, some money was entrusted to Edgar that he was supposed to disperse to her. He didn't do it. Law Association of Zambia sort of banned and suspended him, whatever it was. But while he was under suspension, many people don't realize that he still continued doing things for clients, guiding them. You know, opposite the China Mall there, Edgar Lungu had a little office where he would meet all these people And he would give them legal advice at a fee, of course, but he would never represent them in court because he was barred from doing that. Now, this was the trickery of Edgar Lungu. This is something that lots of people know, but they don't really say. When he would give you legal advice, there were these big corporations that would go see him because they knew that he knew the ins and outs. He would be paid a certain fee. Guess what he would do? He would go to certain guys, top guys at the courts, and he would disperse money. Edgar Lungu was very, very good at buying people. Very good at getting money and then dispersing a bit to these other big head top guys in the court system, so that when your matter came up in court, the powers that be were already oiled. They were oiled. And your case would go through. That's how he did it. And he did that for a very, very long time. ECL right now has dossiers on the powers that be in the court system. He does. Dangerous. Dangerous. And you must understand that the reason he wants to regain power by any means necessary is because he knows that where he's headed, it's not a good place. It's not a good place. By his own admission, he has made it very clear to this nation that he wants to regain power in an effort to protect him and his family, him and his children, him and his posse, him and his compadres, him and his vagabonds. That's the whole goal. It's got nothing to do with service. It's got nothing to do with leadership. It's got nothing to do with fixing the power deficit. It's got nothing to do with any of that. It has everything to do with regaining power by any means necessary for self-preservation, self-containment, self-sanity. That's all it is. All right. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. Owen says, listen to this. You are making a grave mistake to involve yourself in politics. This is my country. I can talk about the affairs of my country. Because things aren't okay. When you say things aren't okay, what do you mean by that? What does that mean? That is such an open-ended statement. Things aren't okay. What's not okay? Tell me. What is not okay? Tell me. And there is a possibility PF is coming back to power to destroy within a brink of an eye. Clearly, this is a PF person. You know how I can tell? Ichisungu, nothing. He can't even articulate. He can't put two sentences together. Mwewa, those guys are lethal. They're lethal. Are they lethal? No, I think you mean they're lethal. Lethal. No, you're wrong. PF is not coming back.